Everyone present here, everyone open page number 20, chapter 3, page number 20 from your SST book. Chapter 3, the Northern Plains, page number 20. Today we will start from this part, the Ganga Basin. The river Ganga is sacred to the Hindus. It has its source in the Gangotri Glacier in the Himalayas and flows in a southeast curve before draining into the Bay of Bengal. So what is the origin from where the river Ganga has started? From Gangotri Glacier, right? You have learned it before in the previous chapter. Now look here. So the Ganga river or river Ganga, it originates from the Gangotri Glacier to the north side, somewhere there. Then it flows to the northeast, and then it directly goes to Bay of Bengal. Okay, so it has originated in the north side in the Himalayas from Gangotri Glacier. Then it flows to the northeast part. So you all know this, the directions. This is the east, this is the west, this is south, and this is north. So the river Ganga flows to the northeast direction and it mixes with Bay of Bengal. And the area over which the river Ganga flows, that is called Ganga Basin. Flowing swiftly down the mountains, the Ganga enters the plains of Haridwar. So just where the river Ganga flows down through the mountains, it enters the plains at Haridwar. So what is the plain? What is the place where river Ganga enters the plain? What is the place where river Ganga enters the plain from mountain? The name of the place is Haridwar. It flows through the states of Uttarakhand, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, and West Bengal. So what are the states through which the river Ganga flows? The states are Uttarakhand, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, and West Bengal. Okay. Ashia, don't eat anything in front of the camera. Okay. You have got 10 minutes break after each class. Eat then. Okay. You can drink water if you want, but don't eat anything. The Ganga Basin is so fertile that it is known as food bowl of India. As I have told you, fertile means the soil is very good for cultivating crops, for planting trees, right? So this is why it is called food bowl of India. Maximum crops or maximum food that we eat, we need to grow the crops, we need to grow the plants first, right? Then only we will get the food from the plant. So maximum food we eat that are grown in the Ganga Basin. That means the area through which the surrounding area through which the Ganga river flows. Okay, that basin is very, very fertile. The soil is very fertile. That means the soil is very good for cultivating the crops. The crops or the plants from which we get our food. This is why this Ganga Basin is also known as the food bowl of India. That means the food bowl, that means the bowl containing the food. Maximum food is grown here in the Ganga Basin. That means in the states of Uttarakhand, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, and West Bengal. The Ganga Basin is most densely populated part of India. So maximum people live here. So you can understand that maximum food is grown here. So this is why maximum people will, of course, stay here or live here, and is home to millions of peoples. Many important cities like Rishikesh, Haridwar, Agra, Kanpur, Allahabad, Ayodhya, Patna, Varanasi, and Kolkata are located here. So you will have to memorize all these names of the cities, the names of the towns present in Ganga Basin. Along with the river Brahmaputra, the Ganga forms world's largest delta, known as Ganga Brahmaputra Delta. And where is this delta situated? This delta situated before it empties into the Bay of Bengal. It splits into numerous distributaries over here, and the main one being Padma and Yamuna of Ganga and Brahmaputra respectively. So Ganga and Brahmaputra together, these two rivers make the world's largest delta. Delta means a land that looks like this. Sometimes like this, okay? So this is a land formed by the rivers, the land formed by the rivers that looks like this. These lands are called delta. Now, why these lands are formed? When the river is about to empty or mix with the Bay of Bengal, at that time the river doesn't have any speed, right? Or very low speed. Okay, at that speed, it is not possible for the river to carry all those sands and rock particles that it has carried from the mountains. So it cannot carry them, and it cannot go straight also, right? So because it doesn't have that flow, the current or the speed, because it will just mix with the Bay of Bengal now. So this is why all the sand particles present in the river, it gets settled down. And when they get settled down, those sand particles and rocks together with, they make lands like that look like this. These are called the delta. Okay, delta of the river. So river Ganga and river Brahmaputra together make the world's largest delta. Before it empties means before it goes and mix with the Bay of Bengal, it splits into numerous distributaries. So tributaries means when any river comes and joins the main river. Suppose this is a small river, this river comes and joins this main river. So this will be the tributaries, okay? And when from the main river, so many small rivers are formed, they are called distributaries. Is it clear to you all? When another small river comes and joins a big river, that is the tributary. And when from the big river, so many small rivers are created or produced, they are called the distributaries. Okay. Now we will read about the Brahmaputra basin. Brahmaputra basin is made by the river Brahmaputra. The river Brahmaputra originates from Tibet, where it is called Sangpo. So we will not pronounce the T, okay? It will be called Sangpo, okay? So in Tibet, the name of river Brahmaputra is Sangpo. The Brahmaputra basin is in eastern part of northern plains. The states of Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, Nagaland, and Meghalaya, and Sikkim of West Bengal lie in the Brahmaputra river basin. So let's see, where is the Brahmaputra river basin in India? See, Sikkim, Assam, Arunachal Pradesh, Nagaland, this side, okay? This side in India's map, you can see this side, this makes the Brahmaputra basin because the Brahmaputra river flows through this part. I should change the color so that you can understand. So the northeast part, you can see Assam, Arunachal Pradesh, Nagaland, this part, okay? So this part is known as the Brahmaputra basin. As you have seen, which part is the Ganga basin, or which part makes the Ganga basin? This part makes the Ganga basin, okay? And then river Ganga mixes with the Bay of Bengal. Similarly, this part also, this northeast part, where there is Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, where there is Sikkim and Nagaland, this whole part of northeast, it makes the Brahmaputra basin because Brahmaputra river flows through these areas. So in Tibet, so Brahmaputra river originates in the Tibet. In Tibet, it is called Sangpo, okay? The Brahmaputra basin is in eastern part of northern plains, as I have told you. Meghalaya and Sikkim is also included in the Brahmaputra river basin. The Brahmaputra basin receives heavy rainfall brought by the monsoon winds throughout the year. The Brahmaputra and the Ganga rivers join to form the largest delta, which is largest delta in the world, which is called the Sundarbans. You must have heard about Sundarban. So in Sundarban, we can see plants like mangroves. Mangrove trees are specially present there. So Sundarban is actually a delta. Delta means an island, that is a land that is formed by the sand particles and rock particles that are carried by the rivers, and they get settled down there to form the land, and the land looks like this. This is the shape of the land generally. Okay, and in these lands we can see the mangrove trees. Okay, so this is the Sundarban, is the largest delta of the world or in the world, that is made by the river Brahmaputra and river Ganga. Now the importance of northern plains. Sorry. I can see some hands are raised here. Okay, Shushnata, you unmute your device. Can you hear me, Shushnata? I can see you have raised your hand.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you read this part, importance of the northern plains. Can you read this part?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then start reading.
Importance of the northern plains. Point 1. These plains are made up of the alluvial soil brought by the rivers. This soil is very soft and fertile. Point 2. The land of these plains is soft, level, and flat. Therefore, wells, tube wells, and canals can be dug for irrigation. These plains are very important for the economic development of India. The land being even, the transportation and communication is easy.
Okay, that's it. So these plains are made up of the alluvial soil. So what is alluvial soil? Alluvial soil means the soil that is made up. Yes, Ashmit, you have raised your hand. Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Can I read?
Okay. So I thought that you want to tell the answer of what is alluvial soil. Okay, the next part you will read. Okay. So alluvial soil is the soil made by all the dirt and dust particles and sand particles that are carried by the river. Okay, so that soil.
I want to tell what is called alluvial soil.
Okay, tell it then. Tell the definition of alluvial soil.
Alluvial soil is the most fertile soil in India. It is mostly found in the northern plains, coastal plains, and the delta region of West Bengal. The soil in this region is formed from the sand and silt carried by the Himalayan rivers and the rivers of the Deccan region. It is highly suitable for agriculture, especially for crops such as rice, wheat, and sugarcane. In delta region, it is ideal for jute cultivation.
Very good. Very nicely said. So all of you have seen that Sushnata, how beautifully she has said about the alluvial soil. So alluvial soil, what I was telling you exactly, that the all the sand particles and very small rock particles or stones that are carried by the river from the Himalayan mountains. So there, when they were flowing from the mountain, when they were falling down, so at that time their speed was the maximum, right? The rivers had maximum speed at that time when they were falling down from the mountain towards the plain. So with that maximum speed, the rivers generally also take or carry carry the sand particles and rocks and small stones and all these things. But when the river is just about to mix with the Bay of Bengal, especially as we are talking about Ganga here, when they are about to mix with the ocean, then at that time, they generally lose their speed. They don't have that proper speed or flow there at that region where they are mixing with the seas and oceans. So this is why they cannot carry those sand or stone, okay, or rocks. So what happens, those sand particles, they get settled down there in the river bank, and when they get settled down, they make the landforms called delta. So such delta is the delta formed by the river Ganga and Brahmaputra, which is the world's largest delta. And what is the name of the delta? That is the Sundarban.
Sundarbans.
Okay? Yes, very good. So this is alluvial soil, and most of these alluvial soils are very, very fertile. Fertile means they are very good for the cultivation, for cultivating crops. Now, crop plants, if we cultivate the crop plants, only then we will get the food. Because what food we eat, we get it from the crop plants. Only after cultivating the crop plants, we get the food. Now, the land of these plains is very soft. As I have told you, the soil is also very soft and flat. That is also very fertile. Therefore, wells, tube wells, and canals can be dug for irrigation. Irrigation means, I have told you before, for daily use, right? For daily use also, we need some amount of water for daily use, for our daily activities. We cook with by using water. We wash many things like clothes and so many things by water. For bathing, for drinking water, we need water for so many daily activities. So for that also, canals means, I have told you yesterday, when from a big river, we cut some area of the land towards the land where there is lack of water, then the water flows from the big river through those area, through the dry area where water is needed. So these are called canals. So canal also provides water to the area where it is needed. These plains are very important for economic development of India. Now, what does this word mean, economic development? Can anyone tell me?
Yes, ma'am, I can tell it.
Okay, tell it then.
Ma'am, can I tell it in Bengali?
No, in English you will have to tell.
Yes, ma'am, I am telling. Ma'am, economic development means the development which our economy needs. As we know that economy means orthonoity.
The financial part. The financial
yes,
part,
ma'am.
right?
The financial
Money
part.
related part. Yes.
Yes, ma'am. So that's why the financial part of our country needs some development. And it comes
Yes.
from the northern plains.
So for development, we also need some, the financially, we also should develop well, right? The financial development or economic development is also needed for the proper development of a country. If we will have
Yes,
no
ma'am.
money, how we will buy? Suppose just if we are not talking about the country, just think of yourself. If we don't have enough money, how we will buy the foods, right? And we will be only able to buy eat the food when we will be able to buy it or grow it ourselves. So money is also very much needed, so that we can for the development of our country, for the development of our society. So if enough food is there, enough crop plants can be grown in a particular area, that also results in the economic development of India. The land is being very even, and even the transportation and communication is also very easy. You must have seen that there are very less trains, and only few toy trains are available in the hilly regions like Shimla and Darjeeling, right? And in those mountain, or in those hill stations or mountains, trains or buses, that means the transport system is not that much developed. Why? Because
the land is uneven.
Yes, the land is uneven, and anytime
landslides can happen.
Anytime there can be the landslides. Yes, landslides can happen. Landslide means big parts of big rocks or big a huge part of mountain can just can just fleet out, or big rocks can just fall on the roads, and they can destroy the road. So this is why the transportation is not good there. But in the plains, we can see all kinds of transportation, buses, trains, and cars, everything moving here. So these plains are also very, very good for transportation and communication. Okay, now Oshmit, you wanted to read. You unmute your device.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, read this part, people living in the northern plains. Now we will read about the different states and some cities and towns present in northern plain, and what are the habits and how people live there. Okay, now read. Ashmit from Punjab.
Punjab. Punjab lies in the Satluj Basin. It shares its capital Chandigarh with Haryana. The main rivers flowing through Punjab and Satluj, Ravi and Beas. The soil of this state is very fertile and irrigation is done mainly through canals. In fact, Punjab is known as the wheat bowl of India. It is the largest single producer of wheat in India. Many farmers have their dairy farms where cows and buffaloes are reared for milk and milk products.
Okay, that's it, Ashmit. That's it. Okay, very good. So see, people living in the northern plains. So one such place is Punjab, that is included in the northern plains. Punjab lies in the Satluj basin. So we have seen that the Satluj river is present in Punjab and Haryana, right? So Punjab lies in the Satluj basin. It shares its capital Chandigarh with Haryana. So we can see a part of Chandigarh in Haryana also. The main rivers flowing through Punjab are Satluj. So what are the rivers that flow through Punjab? They are Satluj, Ravi, and Beas. The soil of this state is very fertile. That means it is also very good for cultivating crops, and irrigation is done mainly through canals. That means the water, the need of water for daily activities, that is done, that is fulfilled through the canals, and the canals are cut out from the Satluj river mainly, basically. In fact, Punjab is known as the wheat bowl of India. Why it is known as the wheat bowl of India? Because maximum amount of wheat that we eat, that comes from this state. And another information is there, it is the largest single producer of wheat in India. So this is the largest producer of India, and single, that means only wheat is cultivated there. Many farmers have dairy farms where cows and buffaloes are reared. That means they are also kept in farms, cows and buffaloes, and dairy farms are there. That dairy means milk or milk products, right? We get milk from cows and buffaloes, and not only milk, from milk also we get other products also from milk, like butter and ghee and cheese. So many milk products are available in the market, and curd, yogurt, so many milk products are there. So all these milk products are also the industry for that is called the dairy industry that deals with these milk products are also present here. Okay, next, Bonoshri. Bonoshri, you unmute your device.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, Bonoshri. You read from this line.
Ma'am, from people living in the northern plains.
A number of industries.
Okay, ma'am, I am reading. The people living in the northern plains. A number of industries have also been set up in Punjab, mainly in cities like Ludhiana, Amritsar, Jalandhar. Ludhiana is famous for its hosiery products and woolen garments. The Harmandir Sahib Temple, also known as Golden Temple in Amritsar, is famous all over the world.
Okay, that's it. Now, a number of industries have also been set up in Punjab, mainly in the big cities like Ludhiana, Amritsar, Jalandhar. So from this line, the question may also come like this, that write down the names of some big cities present in Punjab. So you will have to write that the big cities present in Punjab are Ludhiana, Amritsar, and Jalandhar. ETC means etc.
Hoshiari product.
And now Ludhiana is famous for the hoshiari products and the woolen garments. Hoshiari products means the clothes that we do not wear outside. In our home, the normal clothes that we wear, right? So the clothes that we wear in our home, we do not wear them outside, right? Do we wear them outside? We don't. Some for home, for rough use, we have some kinds of clothes, right? So the clothes that are very comfortable to use, okay, that are very comfortable to wear and that we generally wear in our home, they are called the hoshiari products. So for these types of clothes that we wear in our home that are very comfortable to wear, these hoshiari products are also available. There are industries for the production of these hoshiari products, and also the woolen garments, the garments or the dresses that are made up of wools. For that also, Punjab is very famous. The Harmandir Sahib, that is the golden temple in Amritsar, is very, very famous all over the world. So this is the picture of the golden temple that you can see. It is also given here in your book. So many people go there. The golden temple, you can see the color of the whole temple is golden. So this is why it is called golden temple. This golden temple is also a very, very famous place to visit in Punjab. So everyone mark up to this. Mark up to this. Read up to this line, okay, in your home. And if you get any problem, you tell me tomorrow, because before telling the problem, you should read this part properly. So read this part properly. If you have any problem, you can tell me tomorrow. So tomorrow what we will read? Tomorrow we will start from, okay, a little portion in Punjab is left. Let's complete it, okay? So who was reading? Bonashri?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Bonashri, you read this part also. See, a small paragraph, a small part is left for Punjab.
Yes, ma'am.
Read this part also.
Yes, ma'am. While Punjabi and Hindi are the main languages of Punjab, Hindi and Haryanvi are spoken in Haryana. Gurpad, Baishakhi, Holi and Diwali are the main festivals celebrated in Punjab. Bhangra and Gidda are the popular folk dances of Punjab.
Okay, that's it. So many short type questions can come from this part. So what are the main languages of the people who live in Punjab? The people who live in Punjab are called Punjabi people. And the main languages that they use, that is also Punjabi and Hindi. So these are the two languages that are used by the people living in Punjab. Hindi and Haryanvi are spoken in Haryana. So in Punjab, Hindi and Punjabi, and in Haryana, Hindi and Haryanvi. And what are the main festivals that are celebrated there? The main festivals are Gurupurab, Vaisakhi, Holi, and Diwali. Vaisakhi is the new year, right? New year of Punjabi people. That is called Punjabi, and Holi and Diwali, we all know that because we also celebrate these two festivals. And Gurupurab is also there. And what are the main folk dances, the forms of dances or folk dances? Folk dances means local dance form, okay? They are Bhangra and Gida. So these two are the two folk dances or local dance form of Punjab, okay? Sahim, sit properly. Sit properly. You're in front of the camera. Everyone can see you. So sit properly. Ishika, you have raised your hand. Yes, Ishika?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, what is the meaning of TASANG?
PAANG. And where is that word you have found? Tell me the page number and where you have found that word.
And that may be Sangpo.
Okay, Sangpo. That means the name of river Brahmaputra in Tibet. This one, but that is not T-S-A-N-G. That is T-S-A-N-G, right? Not T-A-A-N-G. So T-S-A-N-G-P-O, Sangpo. Sangpo is the name of river Brahmaputra in Tibet. As we call the river Brahmaputra, the same river is called Sangpo in Tibet. Okay? The Tibetan people call it Sangpo. Okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. So students, as I can see that the time is over for today. No one should leave the